All right, this is Leonard Cho Speaks. This is a podcast to give my friend Leonard Cho, one of the founding members of the Al Leong fan club, the ALFC, a forum to pretty much talk about his philosophy and how everything in his mind and how in the world it should work regarding comic books and general geekdom. I've been hoarding him for 25, 30 years and decided the world needs to know about this guy because he's that dude that people go, wait, 15 years after he dies, so probably in about 120 years from now, everyone will be like, who? We're finding these writings, and who was this guy? And there's little snippets here and there, and
We're uncovering this Facebook feed with a lot of crap, but every once in a while there's this nugget of prescient wisdom.
like, how did this person know what's going to happen in the future? So basically, we met when we were 12, 13, something like that.
Something like that. Junior high.
Definitely junior high. I forgot how in hell we started hanging out. I really don't remember.
We were the geeks.
Yeah, something there was. I mean, there obviously had to be a kickoff event. Something had to have happened that drew us together, and what that was, fuck if I can remember.
I remember not recess because we were, in junior high. We didn't do recess anymore. But after lunch, there would be like that free period outside, and so other kids would be running and exerting themselves.
And I ran all the time. I was a caddy, and any chance I could get to not move, I appreciated.
Yeah. Whereas I was just lazy. So
well, it's but you were contemplating, you were thinking, you were plotting. And it was because where we grew up in a village, actually. I remember you saying that, dude, we live in a village. It's like, we do. The village of Forest Park.
Yes.
And
have you seen the more recent, artwork about, the town logo with the little, the bench and the street light on it? Because they've redecorated a lot of the corners.
Oh.
And it's, oh God, what is it? Big city access, small town charm.
Yeah, I was online and I saw something about that. We're this little town, but really you can get right to the city. Well, yeah, that means there's still problems on the north side. Every once in a while into this Plains River, they still find that floater. But we grew up in the south side of town. It was 3 blocks by 3 blocks. 9 blocks is all it was if you get south of Roosevelt Road, Roosevelt and Harlem, and we had cemetery. We had 3 cemeteries, I think, around us. 2.
Well, there was
Waldheim, and then
other one, and
then that thing over there. So
Yeah.
where we grew up. Did you
book.
text me?
Yes, I did.
Of course you did. Oh, okay. Oh, you can call me Ken. I don't care.
Cool.
Yeah. This is a real name thing. I've got some where it's, okay, let's try. Real Booze is one where don't say our last names. First thing Jay does. And this is Ken Lanius. I'm like, okay, I guess we're not doing that.
Every heist, he's got to start calling my name.
Time. So we grew up around, there's the population of Forest Park, Illinois is about 300. I looked this up recently. It's 330,000. 300,000 of them are dead.
Yes. We're in the Guinness Book.
We
having more dead people than alive people.
I believe it. So we would take shortcuts through everywhere. You wanted to go to the mall, shortcut through the cemetery. You want to go over to get some ice cream at Polar Bear, shortcut through the cemetery.
Oh my God, dude, the tracks are gone.
When we were up there, what was it, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, something like that.
And I kind of noticed that it looked like nothing was going on over there.
Yeah, the tracks.
What was it, Acme Resin, the name you can trust.
Yeah. From there, remember how the tracks went down to Toys R Us and the North Riverside Mall and all that? Those tracks are gone.
Wow.
The tracks were removed. On Cermak, it's smooth sailing over the spot that was there. The tracks have been completely removed. There's foliage or something in its place.
Holy cow.
So now I can't
using it anymore.
Yeah.
That's probably why, so I
but
can understand
now I can't say that those are the tracks where, Frank Nitti killed himself. Now I have
Frank
to say,
Nitti.
yeah, the in the Untouchables, remember the guy that Kevin Costner chucked off the roof when he bragged about killing Sean Connery?
That rat-looking guy?
Yeah, the rat face looking
I was
guy.
a stand-in on a movie with him.
No
I
shit.
swear to God, yeah. It was some bullshit independent movie nobody has ever seen, but he was cool. I bummed a cigarette out, or he bummed. Regardless, we were smoking together. So they filmed that there.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
In the movie, Kevin Costner chucks him off a roof. In real life, the guy he played committed suicide on the tracks, like right between where Toys R Us and the North Riverside Mall are.
no shit.
Yeah, he blew his head off right there.
Wow. So he did it north of or south of 22nd, south of Cermak.
Yes, yes.
No shit. What year?
Yep.
Do you know?
It was like the 20s.
It was like the 20s. I'll, give or take 5 years. So we're talking within the 20
Prohibition
years,
era.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
So
year.
that was Frank Nitti was his name?
Frank Nitti. I think it was Frank. Pretty sure it was Frank.
Totally looking this up. So yeah, we grew up in there's a lot of gangster history, obviously. There's a lot of history in the area that we grew up in, but we were always bored. So we would sit in your basement and read comic books and watch movies because nothing is going on here. This
Well,
sucks.
sometimes we would sit in your bedroom and play video games and read comics. And
Yeah, that would happen also.
yeah.
I forgot about that. I mostly just remember the times in your basement. And what's funny is in later years, there's a writer named Brian Augustin. He wrote Gotham by Gaslight, which is
Okay.
the first prestige. It was the first Elseworlds book.
Yeah.
Well, he lives down here in Arizona now, and I met him 4 or 5 years ago. Started bullshitting. He lived in Berwyn. He lived 4 or 5 blocks from your house. He used to go to Bishop's Chili all the time.
Shut the front door.
So we would always talk. We would come up with these theories and ideas on these comics, and then next thing you know, 6 months later, it's in the book, and we're like, "This place is bugged. This place is bugged. They know what
Well,
we're
no,
thinking."
no. See, now we know it's bugged. Back then, it was the time travelers. Because the time travelers came back from the future where we were successful with our ideas, and they published them now. Turns out, no, it was espionage.
It was Jeanette Kahn had hired Brian Augustin to wire your place.
Fuck, man.
This is what it was. So so we did that. And then sitting in your basement one time, we created the Al Leong fan club
Yes.
because nobody knew who he was. It was Endo.
Endo.
And then it was the guy eating the Snickers bar. And and then next thing you know, you're going, dude, you watched one of those movies and were paying attention to the trailer at the credits at the end, and you were like, that guy's name is Al Leong.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, we're like, holy crap, that's him. There was a commercial. I remember came over to your house one time. There was some kind of a commercial. And he's like, Al Leong was in this commercial.
Endo's in that movie.
Endo's there, and that's where the Al Leong fan club came from. And it's so funny because now people on the internet actually know who he is. But there's all these little 20-year-old, 25-year-old little shits, and it's like, no, we've been doing this like forever.
Yeah,
buddy.
it's like, I didn't have Google, okay? I didn't have Google. I didn't have fucking streaming. I had to wait years to watch a movie on home video. You know what else Al Leong was in? You know, one of my absolute favorite roles of his. Have you ever seen She's Having a Baby? It's a John Hughes flick. It's with Kevin Bacon and
Is it Ali Sheedy?
no, it's not Ali Sheedy. God, she's on Downton now. She's Lord Grantham's American wife. McGovern? Melissa McGovern?
Hold on, I have the internet.
Yes, consult the Oracle. Let's see what it is.
Ever since you put it on pause and came back, it's like humming. It's weird.
Oh, should I try it again?
Pause it and unpause it.
I did.
There's like this hum in the background. Yeah, 1988. It is Johnny Hughes, Kevin Bacon, Elizabeth McGovern,
Elizabeth McGovern. That's it.
Alec Baldwin. I wonder if it's
You'll probably have to scroll down quite a bit to get to Al Leong. He plays like a photographer. He's a photographer like shooting a diaper commercial, and there's a baby and stuff, and the baby is having problems, and eventually he's just like, I can't work like this.
There he is.
He starts trashing the set. It's fucking awesome.
Al Leong, photographer. Holy crap.
Endo's shooting a baby and losing his shit, man. It's awesome.
God. So, and that was the big thing that we always did. It was always doing the spots, seeing if we, oh, wait, we found Al Leong's in, he's in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. We were always finding different spots for him, and that really, he was in 24? I'm going through Al Leong's page right now.
He was on 24. I'm sure I noticed that at the time. I've seen every episode.
Yeah. God, what a shit ending. He was in Godzilla, the 1998 shitty Godzilla. He was a Japanese fishing boat crewman, uncredited.
I've blocked that movie out.
He was in Lethal Weapon 4 by a guy named Wa Singh Kutrayad member, uncredited. And I'm like, wait a minute, but they killed him in Lethal Weapon 1. Must have been his brother.
Dude, it should have been Endo's twin brother trying to get revenge. That should have been the plot of Lethal Weapon 4. I deny the existence of Lethal Weapon 4. It's one of those movies.
Yeah. Well, just like with Die Hard. Die Hard 3 is all about Hans's brother. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden you killed my brother, prepare to die, kind of a situation. So they could have done the same damn thing.
No, that should have been the alternate ending. Like he defeats Simon Gruber, Hans Gruber's brother, and then John McClane, he's all, yeah, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. He's walking down the street all happy, and before you know it, boom, Endo's twin brother shows up and just caps him in the back of the head.
But now you're mixing two movies. You're mixing Die Hard
well, not
and
Endo,
Lethal
but
Weapon.
he was, okay, Snickers bar guy is, I don't think he has a name in Die Hard.
I don't know if he does. I'm kind of scrolling here. But I'm saying in Lethal Weapon, when he kills Endo, then they do like another Lethal Weapon, and it's all about like Endo's brother.
Yeah.
Finding out, obsessed with the fact that, well, now that he's older, I don't know if you get the same actor or somebody else, but still obsessed with the fact that, my brother, my father, whoever, and it has consumed his life to find out what happened to him. And he starts piecing everything together, and he comes right down to one man, Martin fucking Riggs.
And eventually Riggs tells him, yeah, I broke his neck with my legs while muttering all kinds of obscene things at him. Seriously, watch that with the volume cranked. It's the most amusing shit you'll ever hear.
The cracking noise?
No, the shit that is coming out of Mel Gibson's mouth is like, you fucking rat dick son of a bitch. I can't remember it verbatim, but rat dick is in there somewhere.
Oh my God, it's the same old albino jackrabbit son of a bitch you shot. What's his face? Hunsaker, there you go. His name was Uli in Die Hard. U-L-I.
No, it wasn't.
That's what it says, Die Hard.
Oh,
Uli.
in Die Hard. Wait, no,
Yeah.
I'm crossing them. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Die Hard. Uli, got it.
And he has a little biography. Uli is part of a terrorist group led by Hans Gruber. And they have to click to see more. Oh my God. Uli's part of a terrorist group down over Nakatomi. They have like a whole little fucking thing on him here. Uli is quiet but efficient terrorist who carries out Han's orders successfully right up to his death. However, he does manage to find time to steal a chocolate bar and eat it. Fucking awesome. So anyway, that's our Al Leong knowledge. While not vast, it's not deep, but I would say it's vast. Like, we spot him in things, but like Uli, did we know his name was Uli? No. Did we know he had a little bio? No. So, I guess it's going to come.
The question is, did you know he played a photographer who was shooting a baby commercial? That's the kind of information we bring to people.
There you go. That's the vast.
Everyone can spot him in a thug role. Everyone can spot him in, Big Trouble in Little China. But, she's having a baby. Not what you'd expect.
Not that anybody's ever seen that. I mean, people have seen it. I haven't. So anyway,
I don't know what it was. I love that movie. That's one of those movies that was on cable like constantly when we were kids. I watched that movie like a dozen times.
Every time you turn around, it's like, oh fuck, it's this movie again. Yeah, been there. Remember those days. Now we can just choose and pick and choose and whatever the hell we want, whenever we want.
Yeah.
So here we are. So we're about a half hour into this right now. So I want to get to the big first question, which is probably going to take up the rest of this hour. Might go over. Who fucking knows? But it is, how do the Marvel books compared to the movies, in your opinion? Like, what changes have we seen? Um, what have they made up? What haven't, what's factual? When I say factual, like, yeah, what actually happened in the comics? And then you have the whole Ultimates universe versus the real Marvel universe. Then you have the movie universe. Start from the beginning. Let's start from what was the first new Marvel movies. I think is Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man started the MCU. Started Marvel Studios, and well, it's funny because I was a Marvel kid. I grew up reading Marvel comics.
That's where I got my Marvel from.
Then when I, like junior, senior year in high school, I started reading Batman basically because I realized I'm like, wait a minute, Batman is cool. Because I didn't always know that. That wasn't information that I had because I read Marvel comics.
Now,
so
not meaning to interrupt, but I mean, did I start
right.
reading Batman before you did?
Very possibly, or we were doing it at the same time.
I think I may, because it was Death in the Family was going on, and I was like, issue 3's on the shelf, where Bloody Robin, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till the storyline ends, and then I'll pick up the next one. Another wonderful decision that I made.
Yeah.
But that was when they had it was a standalone issue, and then the many deaths of the Batman started up, and they had that one issue that was silent, except for one word, and it was Gordon saying, "Get out." I don't know if you remember.
I don't know that book.
Oh, wow. Where they were finding all these people dressed like Batman, dead. And
yeah, okay.
He was in the morgue, and Batman's laying on a slab, and the mortician and other people are there, and he goes, "Get out." And everybody left, and he took the mask off. And we've all known back in the day, Gordon always had a suspicion. He knew who Batman.
Yeah.
He knew it was Bruce.
Well, my favorite is at the end of year one, when Bruce rescues his infant son and all that, and he walks up and he's like, I'm practically blind without my glasses. That I always thought was that was covered. That was him telling Bruce, I have no idea who you are. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
I didn't see anything.
Didn't see anything. Thank you so much.
So we're sitting up now. Iron Man. I need your perspective on this. The world needs your perspective on Iron Man. And when you saw the movie, what was your take? Were you like, no, fuck you, that didn't happen that way? Or were you like, yeah, that happened, but it happened?
No, actually, well, what's funny is you have to go like 6 months before the movie came out. Or 6 months to a year. When I heard they were casting Robert Downey Jr., I objected.
What? He was perfect.
Well, yeah, I know that now. But I objected at the time. Because I thought they were going the low road. I didn't think they were embracing this guy's talent. I thought they were trying to exploit like his personal struggles with, Tony Stark having gone through Demon in a Bottle and all that. I thought it was, I didn't think they were taking it as seriously as obviously they did.
Well, no, go ahead, because I got the Demon in a Bottle thing.
Also, I read Iron Man for years, and the way they draw Iron Man, they draw everyone in comics, with these huge Adonis bodies. They draw Tony Stark as though he hardly needs a suit of armor. He's like 6'2" and muscular, and Robert Downey Jr. is not even my height, so I'm like, this just doesn't work. And then one night, Dawn and I were watching The Daily Show, and it goes to commercial. But instead of a commercial, it's the green trailer bar, which... and so I quoted the urban philosopher Scooby-Doo and said, and then the Iron Man trailer starts, and all that awesome is just, emanating from the screen, and Dawn's out of the room, and she comes back in, and I'm like, oh my God, and okay, she waits like a couple minutes for me to calm down. I'm like, okay, honey, all that shit I was talking about, Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Iron Man, that never happened. We don't speak of it again. It doesn't leave this house because this is going to be the best movie ever, and it's still in my top 3 Marvel movies.
Okay,
that's
you heard it right there from horse's mouth.
And because when I went to see it, what I loved about like I said, I grew up reading Marvel comics, so I read all these things back in the day when I was a kid. And what I love is they were really I really saw a lot of the stuff that I read back in the day in that, because there was the big Armor Wars storyline in Iron Man, which was when he found out that some of his tech had gotten out and it was being used by, some of it was used by heroes, but some was also used by villains. And he's like, I can't have that. And so he was tracking down and destroying all of his stuff, which is one of the times that he and Captain America have clashed over the years, because there's this superhuman prison called the Vault, and the prison guards of the Vault were called guardsmen, and they wore suits of armor that incorporated some of Tony Stark's tech without his knowledge. And so he was even nullifying those. Like, he had this device he planted on him, and it fried his circuits and rendered the suits inoperable. And Cap was all, dude, you can't do that. These guys need these suits to do their job, to, keep the prisoners housed. And Iron Man's like, dude, I got no choice. And so they fought. Cap lost because, he's just a guy. And Tony Stark has this high-tech suit of battle armor. And it was one of the times when they clashed in the comics. But yeah, the great thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe really throughout is just, they take the classic stuff. They take all the best iterations of those characters. So for me, they're kind of the new Pixar, because they haven't really made a bad movie. I almost hate to say yet, because...
Wait, what about the Thor movies?
I love the Thor movies.
You love Thor.
I love Thor, but I also love those movies just because they're fun, they're entertaining as fuck. Chris Hemsworth is awesome. He fucking is Thor.
Yeah, he nailed it.
And those films and Chris Hemsworth are kind of analogous to the original couple Superman flicks and Christopher Reeve. It could very easily have been just ridiculous. It could have been completely stupid and not worked at all. And the Thor movies have the most active comic things going on. They have, more overt comic relief and what have you. But that's fantastic, because you've still got Chris Hemsworth taking the role seriously and clearly having fun. But the movies, they're a bit more lighthearted, and they're not campy, but they're fun and they're funny.
So I got questions regarding some of the things you were talking about here. I'm taking notes because I do that. So one of the things we're talking about with Tony Stark versus Tony Stark on film and Tony Stark in the comic. Tony Stark in the comic, albeit either Marvel Universe or Ultimates Universe, is something that they don't address in the movies, and that's him being a raging alcoholic.
Yeah.
He pukes inside of his suit. I don't know how many times in the Ultimates. He's like, oh God, I was up all night. I had these Swedish supermodels. And they're like, oh, did Tony puke in his suit again?
Well, and then there was a long time where Tony Stark wasn't Iron Man. Jim Rhodes was Iron Man. Like, remember the original Secret Wars? I
don't remember it because I got into comics. You got me into comics years after you'd been in it, so I didn't get into books until about 80, maybe 86, probably 87.
Well, anyway, the original Secret Wars crossover comic, all the Marvel Universe heroes, they're on Battle World, they're fighting whatever. But the Iron Man in that is not Tony Stark. That's Jim Rhodes in the suit, because Tony Stark was not. He had hit rock bottom. He was in a gutter.
Wow.
So Jim Rhodes took up the mantle, which is why, in Iron Man 2, they kind of alluded.
Now, who's Jim Rhodes, real quick?
Jim Rhodes is Tony Stark's best friend.
Oh.
He was originally and rather forgettably played by Terrence Howard, and thank the gods Marvel traded up for Don Cheadle. Seriously, if I ever win like a serious lotto, like in the tens of millions, I'm going to contact Don Cheadle's people. I'm going to set up some green screen. He's going to come in. I'm going to pay him to act the Terrence Howard scenes, and then I'll get someone who knows like video editing and stuff like that.
Don't look at me. That's CGI shit. I don't do that yet.
Okay, well, anyway, I'll get someone to like plaster Don Cheadle onto Terrence Howard's body, just so I don't have to see his stupid face or hear his fey little voice trying to be manly, and I'll have like a good Jim Rhodes throughout everything. But anyway,
They did that with I'm going to say that, well, yeah, when they released Blade Runner on Blu-ray, Tony Scott, no, wrong one, Ridley Scott went through, and the one scene where the replicant is running through the panes of glass, he never really liked the way that was shot. He got a hold of her. In real life, she's a dancer, not like a booby shaking dancer, but like an actual on stage, real live production dancer. Body's in great shape. The bitch held up. He goes, I want to reshoot this. Are you up for that? And she's like, yeah. So they reshot that whole sequence.
that is awesome.
For the Blu-ray. And then get this. Here's how far ahead Ridley Scott thinks. When he did the scan of the negatives, he scanned them in 8K, which is right now we have Ultra HD, which is 4K, 4,000 lines of resolution across, I think it's from left to right of the screen. So he scanned it in 8K because at the time when HD was just coming out, 1080p, which is the left to right scan, 1,080 lines of resolution. He was like, you know what, technology is going to do nothing but get better. I'm going to future-proof this movie. I'm going to scan it in 8K.
That is awesome.
So, but he went through and grabbed her and did exactly what you were talking about. Went, yeah, this scene kind of sucks. Let me redo it. And I there's a 3-hour commentary or a making of on. I have the 5-disc collector's edition on Blu-ray. Maybe it's 4-disc.
I have it on DVD because I hadn't upgraded to Blu-ray. Dawn got it for me for Christmas, but it came in the briefcase, like for the Voight contest, and it had the little die-cast car in there and the metal origami unicorn, what have you. So then similar thing happened on Return of the Jedi when they filmed the special edition, and they wanted to show Ula, Jabba's dancing girl, the green one that gets fed to the Rancor.
Who gets a nip? There's a nip slip in that scene.
Is there?
Yeah, yeah. Hardcore nip. It's a frame by frame situation.
But they wanted to show a little bit of her in the Rancor's den, and they're like, well, can we film this? Same thing. She's a dancer. She's in fantastic shape. So she came in and played Ula in this new pickup scene that they shot, and no one's the wiser.
You know, it's funny because I've read, there's a book called The Evil Dead Companion, and a lot of the Deadites they used in Army of Darkness.
Two very different ways.
That's, well, The Evil Dead Companion. Hi, how you doing? This is my friend. But the Deadites they used in Army of Darkness were all dancers. And Bruce Campbell's like going, yeah, the cool thing about hiring dancers is they're not like actors. They actually show up on time and want to work. So, but
and
now,
they have some stamina, so they could do it for hours.
Yeah, they don't bitch. They don't fucking complain. I lived with a dancer for years and knew a bunch of dancers, and yeah, they just fucking do it. Afterwards, when they get home, the part you don't see is bloody feet, and I'm going, oh my god, I think I'm going to die. But then they're up in a couple more hours, like fucking waking people like me up, going, what are you listening to? Oh, I'm listening to one of your 120 BPM Happy to Be Hardcores, and jumping around the living room, getting ready to go out and do it again. It's like, oh, just let me sleep. I have a real job and I hate it. But height. Now, something you'd mentioned also was Robert Downey Jr. is shorter than you.
Yes.
And let's talk about the casting of Wolverine real quick.
Yes. Now,
Wolverine in the comic, if I remember correctly, reading Marvel Universe comic, those monthly things that came out, Wolverine's 5'3", 295 pounds.
Yes.
And the reason he's called Wolverine is because Wolverines are very vicious and very, very small, short little, they look like teddy bears until they rip your face off.
Exactly.
Hence, that's why he's the name Wolverine. That's why he got Wolverine, where they call him that. So what did you think about them getting in Hugh Jackman? Because Hugh Jackman is like a fucking Adonis, for fuck's sake.
He is. Well, what's funny is, he really committed to his body over the course of the years. If you go back and watch the first X-Men now, you look at him and you're like, oh, dude, you're scrawny. Have you been sick? Have you been sick with fever? Is there something going on? But
because they had somebody else cast, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was originally Dougray Scott, who was the bad guy in Mission Impossible 2. He's the man who was gonna be Wolverine, but while filming Mission Impossible 2, one of the stunts he hurt his back, and he was still recuperating. And X-Men, they had to go, and so they went with Hugh Jackman, and the rest is history. And thank the gods, because
It was Dougray Scott.
Dougray.
Dougray.
It's spelled like Dougray, Dougray, but he's Scottish, so it's Dougray Scott. He was in.
I'm looking him up. Oh, here he is. I found him.
Yeah, he was in the Hitman movie with Timothy Olyphant. He was. He played Prince. What was that Drew Barrymore movie where she's like
Forever After.
Forever After. Yeah, he's like the Prince Charming in that.
Oh, he was in Taken. Taken 3. Hemlock Grove, which I haven't seen yet. That's a. The guy who did
Netflix
Cabin
original
Fever.
series?
Yeah, the guy who did Cabin Fever.
Yeah, I watched the first episode. It didn't grab me.
That's
we
what I
might have
heard.
watched 2, but I don't know. It's just never went back to it. Wasn't.
But that was Eli Roth. Eli Roth did
Eli
that,
Roth.
and who we went to his haunted house when it was briefly open in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And I'm
It was
so-
tons of fun.
And I'm stopping every 5 minutes, going, looking at the monsters. They're in my face, trying to scream at me, and I'm like, you know what really kicks off this makeup is this lighting and the way they got the thing moving. And the guy's like, you can go that way now. The guy with the chainsaw is like trying to get me to move on. I'm stopping, looking at the dead babies and stuff. I'm like, they did a really good job with that. I'm the worst person to go through a haunted house with, because to me it's
Yep.
like going through a museum. I stop
Yeah.
and look at everything. And then,
Oh God! Back when Dawn and I were courting, we would occasionally go to a haunted house, and eventually I stopped because she doesn't enjoy the haunted house. Because the second we start, because Dawn's a mark at these places, she's the one she's a screamer. God love her. God
happens.
love her. But so she would basically just clutch my arm, bury her face into the side of my shoulder, and we go through, and I'm enjoying it. I'm getting scared and stuff like that, and but she's not saying anything. She's just screaming. I'm like, dude, we could do this at home. I could have someone jump out at you.
Surprise! So what about Captain America and Iron Man? You said have always had a contentious relationship.
Not always, but they've clashed several times over the years.
Well,
There
with
have
the suits, them using Tony's technology. Basically,
Right.
Tony is the Lars Ulrich of the Marvel Universe, it sounds like. You're using my stuff without paying me. Well, why don't you go after a library? You write a book, and they let everybody and their uncle fucking borrow it.
No, but it wasn't that. It was because they were actually. It's not because they didn't pay him. It's because they were using his circuits, and to do harm, and so he just got real hardcore. But that's what I saw in the first Iron Man movie, where he was, because he was going after his weapons and destroying them so that bad guys could not use them. The other weird thing, talking about Captain America, okay, the big three at Marvel, Cap, Thor, Iron Man. I objected to each one of those castings. And
You were wrong.
I was dead wrong. Never in my life have I been more wrong. Never in my life have I been more ecstatically overjoyed to be wrong. Because Chris Evans, I threw a flag, technical foul, no, he was the Torch. You can't tell me that the same guy who was perfect as the Human Torch is going to be perfect as Captain America. That can't be. No, it can't. Well, yeah, it turns out.
Which version of the Human Torch was he?
He was in the 20th Century Fox ones, the Jessica Alba cast.
Okay. So he wasn't in the Roger Corman fiasco.
No,
Because
No.
every Marvel movie sucked before Iron Man. We got Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. Holds a
No, the
special
X-Men movies were
place.
good.
The X-Men
The
movies are
X-Men movies were good.
phenomenal. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and
Spider-Man
Amazing
was great.
Spider-Man, those were good, but the MCU, the connected universe, is really where it took off, and that's the difference, because Marvel started their own studios, and I guarantee you that Dan Didio, Jim Lee, all the guys at DC would trade their left nut to not be owned by Warner Brothers and to be able to pull a Marvel and just start their own studio. So you have people who understand these characters bringing the fans films that they want.
But we got the
'Cause
characters are spread out all over. They're owned by Disney, Sony, and Fox.
For Marvel, yes. But DC, they're all owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So DC cinematically should have a huge advantage, when you go to the movies, but they're owned by Warner Brothers, so you've got Suits making decisions, and I heard a rumor that because Jungle Book is doing so good, they're talking about sticking a talking tiger in the Wonder Woman flick. No,
Oh,
I'm not fucking with you. I just gave you Forrest Whitaker eye, and I'm sorry for that. But
now, have you ever watched An Evening with Kevin Smith? He's done several of them, but have you ever seen the first one?
uh,
Where
I
he,
think you showed that to me.
I may have. That's where he talks
Is
about
that where he tells the story about
John
when
Peters,
yeah, John Peters.
who clearly has no idea what's going on, and fuck Tim Burton. I'm sorry, but he has no business doing superhero movies. You know what? We were all excited about the Batman movie in 1989, and when I saw it, it didn't take place in our world. It took place in a Batman world. What I liked about Superman back in 1979 was that shit took place in our world.
Hmm.
You know, you could recognize everything around there. It made sense. But when you watched Batman, it was like nobody fucking has buildings like this anywhere. And does the sun ever come out? I mean, what's going on? So that was always a point of contention with me personally. Still a great
Okay.
movie. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Keaton did holy shit.
Oh yeah.
His chops came out. You know, he did Clean and Sober. I think right around at the same time, and that's when everyone was like, "This isn't Mr. Mom. What happened?"
Yeah.
So Keaton
But
really brought his stuff. Have you seen what was that, the movie that just won best best film last year? The Keaton was,
Birdman,
no, not that one. The one after it,
The
where
Revenant.
just last season, last Oscar season. Oh
Oh, the one
fuck.
about the newspaper.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
What was that? Spotlight.
Spotlight. It
I
was on the tip of my brain.
You've got a little program on your computer. You can it's great. It deserved to win Best Picture. It was a
Cool.
phenomenal movie. But that's really pretty much hit all the points I wanted to on this one. When we do this again, I will definitely have more questions because your opinions are you made me the geek that I am.
Sure, blame me.
It is. It's your fault. I worked at a comic book store for years. I did all, and there were so many times in my life where we just didn't talk because we just, you were moving around, I was moving around, and the internet didn't exist. And there were so many times, so many experiences that I've had dealing with various comic book people and just different things in the genre that I'm sitting here the whole time going, holy shit, Luncho would be freaking out right now if he was here.
Hmm.
And it's really cool that we've managed to hook up again. And you came down for my 40th birthday 3 years ago, that was my birthday present to myself. Is I want my best friend to come down here and just fuck around for a week. And goddamn, we did it. And we'll do it
Yeah.
again. This
Yeah.
life ain't over. And
I read the coolest fucking thing somewhere because they talk about how Stan Lee didn't create Spider-Man till he was like 41.
yeah, he was 40 years old.
Alan Rickman chucked his creative design career. He started to seriously pursue acting when he was like 42 or 43.
Dennis Farina was the same
And he
way.
got and he got Die Hard. And
Yeah, that was Rickman in Die Hard. I can't believe he's dead.
God, Rickman.
What got him?
got
What
fucking-
did his heart attack him or what
No,
happened?
cancer. He had cancer.
Oh,
he
no
was
shit.
he was quietly battling cancer for quite some time. And then God, Prince, God,
That was out of the blue. I'm sitting here and the girl's here and she's on her computer and I'm playing a video game. She's like, Prince is dead? I'm like, what?
that right there I blame fucking religion cuz they haven't released everything yet, but he's been in poor health for a while, but some like over a decade ago, long time ago, he went Christian Scientist.
Oh, he
Um,
did. I
stopped
thought he was Jehovah's Witness.
or Jehovah's Witness, that might be it.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so he stopped cursing in his music, who cares? But he has needed surgery for his hip for a long time. If you look, there are pictures of him, he's in a power chair. Like he's in a scooter because he can't move very well anymore. He walked with a cane, and something with his religion, he wouldn't get the surgery that he needed to fix his hip. And that's why the last tour he did was just the very stripped down, it was him at a piano, which I would have loved to fucking see,
Oh,
but it didn't
yeah.
come around here. But, yeah, because he can't move like he used to.
And if you're Jehovah's Witness, I know you can't like give blood or anything like that. So I
Right.
guess surgery is probably out the door as well.
Exactly. And And so that's what, there are all these stories about painkillers and all that, and it's like, well, he legitimately needed the painkillers, I'm sure,
But probably did, I don't have enough. I need more. I need more. I need more. And then,
because that's how painkillers work. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, you just kind of build up a tolerance. So, well, dude, it was great. This is gonna be the first episode. Thanks once again for doing this. I know you worked all day. Then you had the kids. You had the wife. You had the whole 9 yards, and you made time to do this. And dude, I love you to death, man. You're like my brother, and
Same here.
we'll do it again. Like, and we have a schedule, but at any other time, if you have an idea or just want to talk and go, I have this thing, and we should do it after you see Civil War.
Yes.
Are you seeing that Thursday?
I am seeing it Thursday.
Do you have Friday off?
48 hours from now, I will be about a half hour into the movie.
Awesome. Now you have Friday off work.
I have Friday off work.
Okay, I get off work Friday, 8 o'clock your time, 6 o'clock my time, because I get off work at 6 in the morning on Friday, and I go back to work at 6 at night Friday. I
Okay.
kind of have this I spent all day sleeping yesterday, and then I woke up at 1:30 in the morning, and I took a nap earlier, but other than that, I've pretty much been going because my
Wow.
job sucks. So,
Well, no, that's perfect because Friday morning, we're down to one. We're a one-car family now, so it takes some effort to get everybody where they need to go. But I still have to get up. So once I've got everyone delivered where they need to be, we'll probably be right around the time you're getting home from work.
cool. So I get home from work, shoot it right around. I can make it home in 15 minutes. Depends on traffic.
It's not that tight.
I also drive a really fast car.
Yes.
We could say 9 o'clock your
9 o'clock.
time, 7 o'clock. Yeah, shoot me a
That's
text,
perfect.
and we'll do that. I'm going to stop the recording here, but we can keep talking. And that was episode 1, and this is Leonard Cho, and he speaks. And stop. Where's the stop button? Stop it.